Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video we're going to be using this Mojo Monday sketch number 498. And with this one I'm going to use I think it's two papers that I haven't used yet, and then for the small pieces beneath the circle image I'm going to wind up using some scraps. So I have my A2 size card, which is 4¼ by 11. And I'm scoring at 5½, so that way the card will be 5½ by 4¼ All right, and then once I fold it twice, I don't like that little piece that was hanging open, so I use my Teflon bone folder to really get a nice sharp crease, and that will make it so that my card stays closed. And then I'm just going to hit up my matte paper here with my sand block from Kaiser Craft, and I'm going to put down some of my Tombow tape with my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to start building up my layers. At first I was going to use some of the peel offs again, but I decided not to on this one. I'm going to do a little bit more layering than what they're showing in the image itself up here in the upper right hand side. But I think it's going to turn out, pretty nice with a little hint of glitter. So the pattern paper here is sized at 4 by 5¼ So that way I have an 1/8 of an inch border with my mat, because that was sized at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And most of my mats, I always go 1/8 of an inch bigger. It's just the way that I particularly like it. I like a thin border. If you want a bigger border, just make it like 1/4 of an inch. So if it's 4 1/4 by 5½, then your pattern paper would start at the 5 1/4 and the 4 inches. And then your pattern paper would be another 1/4 of an inch shorter than that, if you wanted to do it that kind of layering. To me, if I'm doing it that way, I don't use a mat, and I just cut my paper itself to the 4 by 5 1/4, and then I just have a larger border from the card itself. So the tall strip is measured at 2. I think they have it as, I'm trying to see on this small thing here. I can't even see. I should have pulled it up on the side, but of course I didn't. So let's say it's 3/8. I think it's 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And what I did was I just added 1/4 of an inch. So I made it 2½ by 5 1/4. So my mat doesn't go necessarily right up to the same mat. It just gives it a little bit of some thickness on the top and the bottom, just where that stripe of paper is. And then these are my 3 papers. I'm just going to taper the edge, and I made a little boo-boo here. I went the wrong direction. I had it right at first, and then I went the wrong way, and I was like, oh. So I'm gonna do these other ones and make sure I'm doing them in the right angle, the way I really wanted it to go. And then this one, I'm just going to fix it. I'm going to lose a little bit of the length, but I'd rather it be kind of going in the right way. So there's that and that. And then this bottom one, I'm going to wind up just grabbing some of my cuts here and putting them in my little trash bin, and then making 2 more cuts, and it would go like that. And we're going to start layering it up. So for the one on the very bottom, I'm going to put tape on the glitter piece and a little bit of the art glitter glue, and then line it up and attach that piece underneath. And then the bottom pattern paper, I'm going to wind up putting the tape on it with some glue and then attaching it to the glitter paper. And whenever you're using glitter paper, anything you're putting on top of it, you can use the ATG tape or score tape or Tombow tape, but I would definitely suggest using the wet glue as well, only because of the textured material. So once I got those connected, I'm going to go ahead and put more of the Tombow on the back and then hit it with the art glitter glue and get this down. And you can lift this up if you wanted to, put some foam tape behind it. You know, it's up to you. For me, I was okay with it laying flat. And even though it's like multiple patterns, it's not too busy, you know, because the sticker book, I'm going to go inside here and grab the sentiment that says believe in you. And instead of keeping it as a sticker, I'm going to take my EK Success tool and take that powder and put it all over the sticker back, which turns it basically into like a die cut. And then that way I can lay it down. I can always test it out and don't have to worry about it sticking to anything. But more importantly, right now I can attach my foam squares and give it a little bit of dimension. And then we're going ahead and take the backings off, throw away the little pieces, and then we'll get this attached. And then to finish off the card, I went and grabbed my black Nuvo drops. And yes, we're going to use some black Nuvo drops with this collection. I know I've been talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I want to use it. So, of course, I'm trying to like put a few things away and not make a mess. And now I'm going to do my drops. And it was funny. It had sat for so long, and I didn't even think to do a tester before I started. But the first card I made, which is off to the side, I was able to scrape up kind of the hardened stuff that was inside that came out. And then I was able to redo it. So here you can see the 3 enamel dots. I made them a little bit bigger. And I like how it turned out, you know. I think it's really sweet, simple card with a little bit of bling. And I was going to go light blue, but I definitely like the choice of the darker blue because it just gives the sentiment a little bit of pizzazz so it stands out. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. You know, I love doing these Friday sketches. It's my favorite series and probably my most watched series. And as long as you guys keep enjoying them, I will definitely keep on making them. So just, you know, leave the comments down below. Make sure you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so that way whenever I upload new videos, you definitely will get an alert. So thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great weekend.